It's growing on me. Play it. No. Where's the button, Hedreich? I can't hear you.
All right, that's what we need to be doing.
Okay, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, really?
You're just like grooving away. So Hedreich and I need to get better bumper music. So she's got something that I thought sounded like water in the bathroom or rainforest. I'm not sure. So
you obviously have no taste. Your love for spreadsheets has damaged your ears or something. Are you kidding me?
The fact is, I don't listen to music. So I know. I'm probably the only person on the planet. I have ADHD. I've come to grips with this. And so I always have like a conversation going on in my head, right? So like I am thinking about what I'm going to do when I win the lottery that I don't play. Or so I'm thinking, and I enjoy being lost in my thoughts, I guess. I don't listen to music.
Okay. All righty. Well, unfortunately, you didn't get to hear that. Maybe you'll get to hear it in 2 weeks because next week, we hate to tell you that next week we are both flying. And so we will not be starting off your week with unmuted.
But we do have a whole playlist at unmutED.com, and we'll be posting some shorts. I have so many shorts from this is episode 7. So from the last 6 episodes, I have a ton of shorts. I posted one this morning, but like, let's keep going with that, and then we'll regroup back in a week. I'm going to the Google I/O Nerd Fest at the Googleplex in California. So Google is flying me out, and it's always a good time with my nerd friends who code. They're mostly not teachers, but I'm looking forward to it. So last year,
and I'm going on a girls trip with my teacher besties because it's post-testing season. Woo woo!
That's true. Okay, fair, but I'm going to the Googleplex. Alfonso says he's the same. His inner dialogue is much more entertaining. Exactly. High five, Alfonso.
Y'all are sus. Okay, people who don't listen to music are sus. I'm putting it out there. Okay.
That's okay, but then look what I do with my thoughts. I code. I've got all of these add-ons and things that I really enjoy making. I like making stuff for teachers, and I need time to process through the code. Just saying.
I write Grammy-nominated songs, so my brain is processing information and putting stuff out there in the world. So hey, come on.
Let's see what we got on here.
That's going to be my question of the week for How I'm Muted. Are people who don't listen to music sus? That's going to be the question.
I'm clearly sus. I'm going to own that. I am sus. All right. This week I've been editing video, some of this episode and some of the different podcasts that I was on, and I think that I have so much lights. I'm like, I look washed out. I need to maybe darken up my makeup. And then I got this double chin. And you said, I don't even notice. I notice.
And we wanted to talk about that because women are often, especially women are often, men are getting like that too. The whole evolution of Spanx for men is a whole nother matter. But women are generally often our worst critics, and we hold ourselves up to impossible standards. So I really just kind of wanted to say, like she's talking about how pasty she is. And I'm like, well, I mean, that is the level of melanin that you have. Why, embrace it and you look beautiful. And so really think that, especially because as teachers, we have it double. If you teach middle school, you've probably gotten roasted by your students for something, and you brush it off. But maybe those things nick your inner child. And so let it go. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. Let it go. Embrace
something I always say though is no one thinks about your double chin but you. And I know it. When you look at a photo, the only person who you're thinking about, unless it's like a grotesque wart on the end of someone's nose, unless it's really like terrible, no one notices. No one notices. So give yourself more grace. And I know it, and I need to give myself more grace. Whatever.
And if you're just really worried about your double chin, just make sure that you relax your shoulders and stretch slightly forward as opposed to going like this.
Well, the other podcast that I was editing, like right now, I'm standing up. I have a standing desk, and I have the camera is up here, so you can see. It almost makes it look like I have not a double chin. But the other one I was at, I was sitting down, and I had my laptop. So because it's my laptop, it's looking up like this. It's just a bad angle. It's just a bad angle, and I'm like, oh, not doing that again.
But again, when you get older, you have a double chin. Your pores get bigger. Your eyelashes and eyebrows begin to disappear. There are just a million things. As a matter of fact, you know what? I did want to talk about one thing. Yesterday, on Mother's Day, I released a vlog for Small Bites, and I haven't done that in a while regularly, and I'll be doing that. And I talked about my journey from being a full-time in the classroom teacher, a full-time mother, to what comes after. And all of these things, a lot of the hormonal shifts and all those things happen all at the same time. And I think it's important that we start talking about it so that we can know we're not alone on some island called.
You're the only one who gets older, Hedreich. You're the only one, you and your double chin.
Right? Double chin, hot flash island. And it's just me. So talk about those things, because it's really nice to know that you do have community, and just give yourself more grace.
Give yourself more grace. I think that's excellent advice. Okay, it is the end of the school year. I am so excited because my husband and I have been living 4 hours apart all year so that my son can go to school here in Wichita, and he's now got a new job. He's moving to Wichita. School ends next week, and he is moving after he does the graduation speech. Yeah. But then, I got my kids all around all summer. I got to give them something to do.
And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. Is there a summer version of that song?
I don't know this song because I don't listen to
Yes. Oh my God. But you got to know. I mean, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Is that what you were doing?
You don't know that song? I mean, everybody knows, even people who don't listen.
Okay, here's the second layer of blasphemy. Not only do I not listen to music, I abhor Christmas music. Like, I hate it. Can we still be friends?
You know what? Let me get back to you on that one. Honey, what? Seriously? Oh my God. Okay. We're going to talk about that off camera, because I'm just like, I have to process that. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. But you know what? The funny thing, it's funny that you mentioned it, because things are shifting, because Christmas music has a lot more modern songs now. There are a lot of people who don't know it, like fairy tales. I always hate it when we see the word slipper on standardized testing, because no one unless you actually still read old slippers, old fairy tales, you may not know the word slipper. You might know the word chancla. You might know the word slides, house shoes, but slipper is a golden slipper in a fairy tale. And some of that stuff just has nothing.
Another one of the many reasons that state testing is bogus. Like, what actually are we testing besides people's privilege? Like, this is dumb.
Oh no, we're also testing we're testing the possibility that a third grader can sit for 2 hours and calmly go through questions. Wow, I think that's a great thing to test, because that's age appropriate. Okay, I'm sorry.
Setting Doge after state testing. That's the only thing I can really get behind. Get rid of that.
Yep.
All right. Anything else at the end of the school year? Take all the staples out of your wall?
I would like to talk about what you do with your summer, because everyone knows that teachers just goof off all summer long. And since that is the narrative, I think
I might make stuff for next year all summer long.
That's my point. I mean, I don't know a teacher who doesn't work in summer, but let me challenge you to not work all summer. You know what? It'll be there in August and September. It'll be there. So I'm not saying you will lose your mind if you don't do things, but carve out some space in summer to do your thing. If your thing is reading a good book, then do that. If your thing is hanging out with your kids and getting on the merry-go-round, do that.
Doing their thing. We all come back. We're sharing the lemonade and whatever that we drank, and whether or not we decided that we were also going to, we're not spending the whole summer chained in our, like me right now. I'm in the basement. My office is in the basement, but I enjoy it. I like teaching because I get excited about creating really cool lessons. I don't get excited to go read the textbook to the kids. So this one job that I had teaching math, I'm like, okay, well, where's the book? And they're like, oh, this is the book. I'm like, that's not a book. It's a workbook. Like, well, no, that's what we do. We help the kids fill in the blanks. I'm like, the hell we are. We don't help the kids fill in the blanks. Nothing that makes me want to go to school every day and help kids fill in the blanks. Like, I want them to be inspired. I want to do something cool. Like, I had them, that paper football game?
Yeah, of course.
Right. So I had them fold paper footballs, and I put tape on the floor out into, because I was teaching geometry. So to show like the angle, you get more room as the angle gets same angle, but farther out. And we were moved all the desks and flicking paper footballs. See, that's my idea of a good time. Like, how can I create some sort of an experience that kids are like, we flick paper footballs today. We do water bottle flipping. I think I took them outside and we spun water bottles on a string and measured how far they go. Like, that takes some time to plan. And when they come through, they don't always work out. But like when it comes to fruition, like, so, I mean, I'm not spending my summer making worksheets. I'm spending my summer like, how am I going to do the things that really feed my soul? So I'm just going to gently push back. I think we all do things we enjoy, and I enjoy lesson planning.
Very good. For the ideation, I will give you, a lot of my ideas. This is what I think. I agree. There's a part in my soul that is just a teacher. And so I will come up with the best idea out of absolutely nowhere. But what I think is that a lot of times we don't give ourselves space to ideate because there's rejuvenation and rest. And so by really getting away from it and then reapproaching, you end up having a better, you actually have more creative energy.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Next slide. Wait, I'm not very good at doing these. Why does it always go to me? Because I'm controlling it. Okay. So, Hedreich.
We talked about that last week. That's from last week.
No, it's not me. I made it this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Will AI replace teachers? Is this a chat?
Will AI replace teachers? It's not the chatbot thing.
Oh.
Although I know we said we weren't going to talk about it, but now we're going to talk about it because you brought it up. I am pro teaching kids AI. I am anti unleashing these third-party companies that have AI chatbots that have no accountability or history of security. I know, like, let's do an IRB study, research, Harvard, whatever, going in and seeing what some long-term effects are before we just throw ChatGPT chatbots at kids. And so maybe that's an unpopular opinion. I'm all unpopular today with my anti-Christmas music and being forward-thinking but cautious.
And the thing about it is, I mean, when I think about AI chatbots and AI generally, AI period, what I think about is the fact that most procurement contracts in districts and states have not been updated to reflect the fact that none of these companies who have AI integrated have they have their contracts with those people, but your safety, your data is now being shared with third parties. So what is your contract saying about third party security? And so procurement people and all of you wonderful IT people in districts and states, please go to the drawing board together and see how we can make sure that we keep our kids safe.
Yep.
While we're talking about all of
Love
the
the shiny. I mean, we
great,
teach them a lot
great
of
opportunity. We're not saying
in the middle of. We teach them about nuclear fusion. We don't have them actually make it.
Yep. Yep. And so, do you know anybody else? Because you know a lot of providers and stuff. Do you know anybody who's doing really good third-party agreements on the provider side?
I don't have that job. I tell people I'm nerdy. I'm not IT nerdy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering.
Job, and I know these people who have that job, and they're stressed out all the time.
Before I left my last district, it was something that we started talking, and they put together a committee to deal with issues like that. So I just want to put it on everybody's radar, because for a lot of people, it's not. It just kind of flies under the radar because we send we've worked with this. I almost said a name. We've worked with them since 2012, and we have our standard agreement. Well, your standard agreement no longer covers what.
Good point. That's a good point. All right, so back to my question in our last 4 minutes. If I can do the correct layout. Here we go. I am concerned that with the number of teachers who are quitting, that this is going to be the fallback.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think we need to be proactive to say a real human being is important. Like just put it out there. I know we do put it out there, but that has to be the driving force of our decision making, is what caring adults are we putting in front of our kids, not how fast can they do their math X. Not to say, well, I'm anti-time math test, but whatever. But not to say that academic standards aren't important. They are important. But I think right now they're less important. I can literally make ChatGPT or Google Gemini or whatever spit out whatever letter to my congressman that I need to write. And so putting kids in a place where they're going every day, they're being enriched, they become better people, to me, is my top priority. And I'm very, very concerned of how many people I've seen. I'm retiring after this year, and how many said it the year before, and how many said it the year before that. I still have kids in the system.
So my question to you is this. You said having your kids in a place where my child is being enriched, my child is being challenged. Yeah. What about the very real fact that is not the case for all students?
That's true.
And would you, if you had a choice between a bad human teacher and
look at you, spicy.
AI bot. Now we got 2 minutes. Which would you choose?
My kids have had some amazing teachers, and I personally have had some amazing teachers. And there has been the occasional, I'd rather have my kid at home, you're damaging them teacher. That's definitely the exception, not the norm.
So let's talk about that exception. Would that exception be better off as an AI situation?
I mean, we've already been doing that. There's not enough math teachers, so we just dump them on these online videos that are horrifically bad with a really low level quiz. I know that my friend, hey, Marcia, in the school district she used to teach at, she's now retired from, she would do summer school. She was the only teacher for all the grade levels, all the subjects. Like it was her and everyone on a computer doing whatever really terrible curriculum, as if that's what makes you educated. Like if those low quality quizzes were good enough in the first place, why didn't we just do it in the first place? Throwing it out, just giving kids garbage for summer school just so we can check some boxes. I think we should cancel. I've been saying this for years, pre-AI, cancel summer school if the best you got is not having a teacher. Like what is, when we say you pass a class, what EOK level, at what creativity level, what have you accomplished besides spitting out what you can get in a Google search? That's not education.
Okay, well then we need to go back to school. Then your issue is not with chatbots versus blah blah blah. The issue is then the education system and what we consider education. The education system was never made for kids to think and be educated.
True.
It was made to make good workers. Let's get them in there. Let's get them on a bell system. Let's make
Okay.
good workers.
All right, let's go with that. To make good workers in the year 2025 is not being able to compete with AI. It's what do you do that enhances AI, that is more, it has to be more about creative critical thinking, because AI has all the fact stuff, but it's repeating patterns. So if it's just the same old thing, like memorize these things, regurgitate it, all of us are outdated. Education is gonna have to help kids to have more value than what AI can do, because jobs are being replaced with an AI chatbot right now. But not an AI chat, but just AI.
So let's start with that. We're at time, but in 2 weeks, don't forget, go and visit our shorts. Go and visit AliceKeeler.com. It's got all of our shorts and stuff on YouTube. But in the meantime, we will think about use our hashtag #HowUnmuted to have questions, or if you want to comment about whether or not a chat bot is better than a bad teacher. Also, whether or not people who don't like Christmas music are sus. Or don't like music at all or sus. But finally, I'd like to start here, Alice, in a couple of weeks. Really, what are we teaching in the classroom?
Yeah.
Are we really preparing kids for the 1900s
or
the 21st
for
century?
the summer is providing some practical tips for what makes good education, and not what some people think that we are babysitters, which of course we're not. So, okay, on that note, this has been fun. You're not a babysitter. Enjoy your summer. Be ready. Take all the staples out of the wall. I, by the way, never did that because I'm a rebel.
Bye, y'all. See you in a couple of weeks.